Hey guys, Michael Truly here for CineFix. Halloween is upon us. If you have not already wet your pants in fear, some of your friends here at CineFix are sharing some of their scariest movie memories.
All right, so I actually have two things that kind of freaked me out as a kid. The first thing is actually Legend, which has Tim Curry in it playing Darkness, which is basically the devil. And just that image really stuck with me, hardcore night terrors, for a very long time. The next thing that really freaked me out, and not to be all CineFix synergy here, was Evil Dead. The first one, it's not as campy and ridiculous as the second and third, but I would say that even though I was watching it with my brother and our friend Diego, we were all like goofing on it and how like the gore was so over the top during it, afterward, we were all significantly freaked out. So freaked out that Diego, who lived across the street, actually ran home because it was pitch black and we were all freaked out. Definitely a good one, not for the kids.
The TV ads for Dr. Giggles when I was a little kid scared the living out of me, okay? I seriously had nightmares for months. I was always afraid when I got like under my covers, Dr. Giggles would be right there with his syringe and his freaking flashlight. But you know what? Stop judging me. I was a little kid, all right?
I've never been a person that monster movies scare. But the thing scared me the most as a kid because it was a combination of both things. It was like a monster that could be anybody that you know. And that to me is the most terrifying thing ever, that like I can't trust my environment or anybody in it at any given point. And like, how are you supposed to anticipate that? Evil alien, oh!
I was really scared by a lot of claymation. Adventures of Mark Twain, there's this whole scene where they meet the devil. The devil is like a floating faceless drama mask with nothing behind his face, which is terrifying except this black void. I remember old Yeller.
My friends had nightmares for a month and a half after like The Exorcist or The Shining when they saw it too young. I saw Killer Klowns from Outer Space when I was like 9 or 10 or not even an inappropriate age to see it, but watching it now, it's a deliberately cheesy movie. Like, it's not supposed to actually scare you. So like a clown punching a guy and his obviously rubber head coming off and falling into a trash can freaked the hell out of me. That movie scarred me on some sort of deep emotional level that I can't even get to.
What scared me when I was a kid was The Dark Crystal, Jim Henson's movie. I, for whatever reason, kept trying to watch it and could never get through the first 5 minutes where they're all staring into the Dark Crystal and you got these creepy looking Skeksis around. I would just get so scared. I would just have to hide and like turn off the TV. And I tried repeatedly to watch it. At some point, I managed to make it past that. But then the next part that got me was when the Emperor dies and his face caves in on itself. I was just done. And then finally, when I was about like 14, I finally watched it, and now it's like one of my favorite movies of all time.
I think the thing that scared me the most as a kid was not actually a movie, but my bedtime was like 8:58 or it was like 9:58. I think it was 8:58, and Doctor Who always came on at 9, and if I stayed up just a little bit too late, you'd get that weird like theremin, like 1980s Doctor Who, like, and it was so like creepy, and this was before I had any concept of like how awesome Doctor Who actually was. It was just such a foreign noise, and then like all the wormhole like flying around. I hated it. And then a couple years later, they put Fame on there instead, and that was much nicer to go to bed to.
Stephen King's It made me afraid of bathrooms forever because I thought there were little dead children inside every drain. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Large Marge, when she just turns into a clay monster out of nowhere. Faces melting in Raiders of the Lost Ark. The giant snake in Beetlejuice. Pulling faces off in Beetlejuice.